You ever been handcuffed on your own dock before breakfast? Yeah, that happened. The HOA president actually screamed, "Arrest him," as I was launching my old aluminum boat on my own damn lake. Picture me half soaked in icy water at 6 a.m., minding my own business when Margaret Thornfield storms down my dock like she's royalty, her finger 2 inches from my face, shrieking, "Trespasser!" And there's a county deputy just as confused as I am, fumbling with his handcuffs. "Ma'am, this is my property." I tell her, water running down my waders, but she's already yelling, "Not anymore," her voice echoing across the water as those cuffs click shut. My 12-foot boat's just bobbing there like it's got front row seats to the circus. 15 neighbors are standing on their decks, coffee in hand, filming every second. You want to know the best part? 10 minutes later, I owned her precious Marina. But let me back up, because if you've ever dealt with an HOA, you know the crazy never starts where you think, "Name's Jake Morrison. I've lived on this patch of lakefront heaven for 15 years. My wife Sarah and I bought these 12 acres to retire in peace. Our own private lake water rights. Sunrise, coffee on the dock. The whole dream. After Sarah passed from cancer 3 years ago, this place became my lifeline. Me and my dog Rex out fishing at dawn, the sound of loons pine in the air, and that old wooden dock holding up what was left of my world. Then along comes Margaret Maggie Thornfield, newly crowned HOA president, and the human equivalent of a pebble in your boot. She just moved up from city council, got voted out for being well, Maggie. The woman finds you for breathing too loud. Within a week, violation notices tripled. Christmas lights up on January 2nd, $200. Dog barks before noon. That's another fine. She's the type who bulldozes a classic cottage to build a modern eyesore, but complains if your garden gnome faces west. Still, I kept my place spotless, paid my dues, minded my business. Figured she'd burn out, bullying easier targets. That was my first mistake. One rainy Tuesday, I get a certified letter, $500 fine for unauthorized watercraft storage, creating visual pollution inconsistent with community standards. I read it 3 times, staring at my coffee going cold while Rex snored at my feet. The same boat launch I'd used every morning for 15 years, now apparently a crime against humanity. Get this, the HOA claimed my dock was suddenly common property. The attached letter, perfumed like a Macy's counter, used phrases like premium market positioning and significant aesthetic liability. We're talking about a fishing boat older than most of the neighborhood's kids. Here's the hypocrisy. Maggie's Palace has an illegal concrete seawall and a fake imported sand beach. But my dock? That's the crisis. I called her up, thinking we could talk like grown-ups. "Mrs. Thornfield, Jake Morrison from Lakeshore Drive. There's got to be some mistake." She cuts me off. "The board has determined your facilities undermine property values. 30 days to remove them or face escalating penalties." I mention my deed includes full water rights. She fires back. "The HOA supersedes individual claims when community welfare is threatened. Do not contact me again." Click. You ever had someone declare war on your peace? Maggie wasted no time. 3 days later, there's a notice on my door, hand-delivered, not mailed, summoning all waterfront owners to an emergency board meeting. The whole community center's packed. Maggie sits at a folding table like she's judge and jury, flanked by her lawyer nephew Curtis, who looks like he's dying in his suit. She launches into her speech, "A threat to our community's property values and legal standing." Then Curtis unrolls some bogus survey map claiming my dock juts 15 feet into HOA water. I pull out my own deed and survey, thank Sarah for making me keep everything organized. With all due respect, I say, spreading them on the table, my rights are crystal clear: water, mineral access, in perpetuity. Curtis goes pale. Maggie mutters something about boundaries evolving, but she's losing her nerve. That's when Mrs. Victoria, my 78-year-old neighbor, stands up in the back. Jake's been using that dock since before the HOA even existed. We borrowed his ramp when our grandson visited. Others start nodding Tom from across the lake, even the quiet folks. Maggie snaps. Personal favors don't establish legal precedent. Then plays the fear card, insurance liability lawsuits, you name it. I stand my ground. 15 years, no complaints, no accidents. She shouts that previous boards were negligent. The meeting ends in tense silence. War is officially on. Monday, I wake up to find a security guard standing at my property line. Maggie's unemployed son-in-law, Derek, in a brand new uniform, clipboard in hand, posting "no trespassing" signs all over my dock. Mrs. Thornfield hired me for HOA compliance, he mumbles. The next week, he's there every morning at 6, blocking my way, pretending to take notes. I'm not one to take this lying down, so I hit the county recorder's office, days spent sifting through musty files, the sound of ancient copiers humming in my ears. And jackpot Dolores, the clerk, who's seen every dirty trick, slides me Maggie's election paperwork. Turns out her election wasn't legal. Notices were never sent properly, half the community wasn't informed, and the paperwork's a mess. Maggie isn't just a tyrant, she's an illegitimate one. All the while, Derek keeps escalating, following me, measuring my dock, even trying to document compliance issues on land he doesn't own. Meanwhile, Maggie's out playing mind games. Coffee meetings at her house, whisper campaigns about my mental decline after Sarah's death. Friendly neighbors start looking away when I pass. Then comes another certified letter. Now she's threatening to hire a lawyer if I don't tear down my dock. Sitting at my table, papers everywhere, I realize she's so focused on crushing me, she's exposed all her own illegal moves. Then comes her boldest play. Maggie tries to buy out the only public marina, offering $50,000 from the HOA emergency fund to make it private for safety. Her plan: corner me. If she controls the marina, she can strand me, cut off all access but hers. But Tommy the dockhand and Derek's cousin overheard everything. Plus, Mrs. Victoria has old photos, news clippings, proof that every homeowner was promised perpetual lake access from day one. I visit her and she hands over the original 1994 Developers Covenant and photo albums. There it is in black and white, full water rights guaranteed to all original owners. Back at the recorder's office, Dolores digs up the marina lease. It expired 2 years ago, never renewed. According to the law, the property reverts to county control, and if the back taxes aren't paid, it goes up for auction. I checked the numbers: $12,000 in back taxes. I can cover that from my retirement account. The next auction's Friday, 3 days away. No one else even knows about it. I call up Helen Vasquez, a legendary local lawyer who eats crooked HOA boards for breakfast. I lay out the evidence: illegal election, emergency fund abuse expired, marina lease developer guarantees. She just grins, says, "This is beautiful, Jake." Robert at the bank fast-tracks my withdrawal, even says, "Hope you win. Someone's got to put these folks in their place." Then Patricia Wells, the county commissioner, calls me herself. She's rooting for me to buy the marina and clean up the mess. My neighbors bless them rally too. Tom from across the lake gathers everyone who remembers the old rules, deeds, document stories. We plan it out. I go for the marina. Helen preps the legal filings. The neighbors document every shady move Maggie makes. Friday morning, I walk into the courthouse, hand over my certified check. And just like that, I own the marina. Maggie tries everything. Calls my lawyer to file an injunction. Too late, sends Derek to harass us. You're violating community standards. Even marches down in person. Red blazer blazing, threatening to overturn the sale. Sorry, Maggie. You can't buy access rights from someone who doesn't own them anymore. Saturday, she tries to negotiate drops. The dock violations offers a deal, tries to get me to agree to a schedule. Thing is, she's secretly recording our talk, planning to edit it to sound like extortion. But her own nephew Curtis has had enough tips off my lawyer, and when Maggie plays her doctored recording at a public meeting, Mrs. Victoria calls it out as a fake in front of everyone. That's not how Jake talks. She says, "I know editing when I hear it." And it gets better. Tom traces the HOA's concerned neighbor social media accounts back to Maggie's home IP. Derek, still trying to play inspector, gets told off for trespassing on county property. The final showdown comes at Maggie's emergency community meeting. The room's packed. She calls me a threat. A manipulator plays her evidence. I stand up, lay down the 1994 covenant, the election paperwork, the emergency fund documentation, and then play my own unedited recording for everyone. Commissioner Wells herself walks in with a deputy and serves Maggie a cease and desist order for harassment and fund misuse. Curtis grabs his papers and leaves. The audience turns. The Queen is dethroned. By Monday, Maggie resigns, calls it community conspiracy. Derek finds a job out of town. Curtis disappears back into contract law. The new properly elected HOA board slashes violation notices by 70%. Neighbors start talking again. The best part. The Marina's thriving. Kids come every Saturday for the Sarah Morrison Memorial Fishing Program, free rods lessons, stories from Mrs. Victoria Rex soaking up attention. Families barbecue on the dock, laughter echoing over the water. Property values jump. The lake breathes again. And I still sit out there with Rex at dawn, talking to Sarah, proud of the community we built from the ashes of a petty tyrant's meltdown. So what would you do if your HOA tried to handcuff you on your own dock? Drop your worst HOA nightmare in the comments, and let's keep fighting these small-time dictators together. Hit subscribe for more stories about regular folks standing up for what's right. Justice always tastes better when you share it, don't you think?